call George Adam to be followed by Patricia Ferguson.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. I am not on the Public Audit Committee, but sat on the committee during the first year of this term, and I am only too aware of the work programme of the committee, and I appreciate the hard work by Paul Martin, the convener, and others on this and many other issues. As a member of the Education and Culture Committee, I have followed this sorry saga with great interest. But the whole purpose of the reform of colleges was for them to make a more powerful contribution to growing Scotland's economy, more focused on employability. We are all aware of the very challenging times that we live in, and the public sector reform, like college reform, can deliver services in new, innovative ways. However, this process of reform is not helped by examples like Mr Doyle, who encouraged the public to be very cynical about the public sector, and in his case, that greed overcame practicality and reality. Certain very senior management putting their own financial security above that of the educational institution that they serve, forgetting about the college, the staff and the students involved in these major reforms at a very difficult time. I found, Presiding Officer, this whole sordid little deal rather sickening. Situations like this, although they are the minority, make our constituents and the public very cynical about the value of public service. It is an injustice to the men and women who commit themselves to the noble ideals of public service. It shows an individual who is looking after number one and no one else. Presiding Officer, at this point I would like to discuss part of the committee's report on the Scottish Funding Council's financial memorandum with colleges. And the SFC's financial memorandum with colleges states the Council, the SFC, must be able to rely on the whole system of governance, management and conduct of the institution to safeguard all funds of the institution delivering from the Scottish Ministers to achieve the purpose for which the funds are provided. And there is also an extract from the 2013-14 audit of Coatbridge College, which is Exhibit 3, which the extracts from the Scottish Funding Council guidance on severance arrangements to senior staff in further education colleges. In paragraph 13 is colleges have a responsibility to use both public and any private funds in a prudent way that achieves value for money. Now, this does not seem to be the case, Presiding Officer, in this scenario. In other words, we need to actually have an institution's management structure to be robust, transparent enough to deliver the desired outcomes. But Mr Doyle, and the position that we've had to deal with Mr Doyle, seems to have been the failing in these principles. And perhaps it was the principles of Mr Doyle that might have to come into question. With this in mind, I commend the Public Audit Committee on their work and sitting through the evidence that they've had to look, particularly when you see the recommendation that they came up with in the report on page 45. And recommendation 1, Presiding Officer, states, we recommend that John Doyle repay the £304,254 he received, and that his severance pay is then recalculated with reference to the agreed voluntary severance scheme applicable to all other members of staff. In the event that he does not repay the money, renewed consideration must be given to recovering it for him. I think that is probably one of the most important parts of this whole scenario. But I also take on board the fact that, as the Cabinet Secretary already said, that since April 2014, the Scottish Public Finance Manual, the Scottish Government has put in place a number of measures to ensure effective scrutiny of severance and settlement arrangements, and colleges must comply with this manual, and doing so seek approval from the SSC on both severance and settlement arrangements. And these things, we need to make sure that we are very prudent with public money, because, in Presiding Officer, we need to learn from the excellent report that we have here in front of us and make sure that we do all we can to ensure that this does not happen in the public sector again. For me, Presiding Officer, recommendation 1 from the committee report sums up this very sordid affair. It's time for Mr Doyle to do the right thing.
Many thanks.